And when life gives you lemons, you make lemon pie.
Or you ask your sister to bring you one.
Because if those frogs, they'll be snakes.
My frogs in my pond. Yeah, they croak or they sing. It is mating season. And they will sing and mate. And both of my ponds are full of eggs. They look like little, like a little egg that's cracked open, but they're in big clusters. And they're jelly with little black dots in them. And then they'll be a tadpole, and then they'll start growing legs, and then they'll turn into frogs. But both my ponds are full of frogs right now because it's mating season.
Did you eat frog legs a lot growing up?
When I take Will over there,
We didn't eat them a lot, but we did eat them when Daddy would get so many and have to save them in the freezer till we got. Mama got many. She always fried them. And we ate frog legs. And she saved them up till she had 500 pounds. She fried 500 pound frog legs. The only thing, when you put them in the skillet and it's hot, they jump like a frog jumps.
muscles red.
But they taste like sweet chicken.
Yeah.
If you're real quiet, you can hear them out there just a chirping and a singing.
It means bass start running.
It's mating season. That's what it is.
I know, I heard them this morning. It sounded like they was singing. I sat over here in the chair and was
Every
making
time they
that.
have open house I made a lemon pie for Cindy because Judy Boughton, one of our fans, sent me a message and said that she wanted a lemon pie too, and she'd be very thankful if I did that. So I made Cindy a lemon pie. Good morning, this is Memaw Dixie, and I am going to make a lemon pie today. And I didn't have any pie crust that I had bought from town or anything, so what I'm going to have to do is make a homemade pie crust. So we will start making our pie crust, and once we get our pie crust done and get it baked and let it cool, then we will start making the lemon pie filling. So here's what we got to do. First, I'm going to take a cup of plain flour with a half a teaspoon of salt. I put it in my flour, and I'm going to sift it in a bowl. Now this recipe here is just for one pie crust. So if you're going to make more than one, you're going to have to double your pie recipe, or just do one and then make another one. So I have it sifted, and I'm going to put 3/4 cup of shortening. You can use lard you buy in the store. I'm using my homemade lard. And it is sticky. And I'm going to mix this up real good. I'll get me a fork. And then I'll get my hands in there probably here in a minute. But I'm going to take my fork first. Get some of the shortening mixed up in my lard, in my flour. Now I have to get my hands. I did wash my hands, so they're clean. Okay, that's mixed up pretty good. And then I'm going to add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of ice water. So here's 1, 2, I'm going to go ahead and do 3. If I have to have more flour, I will. I'm going to mix this up, and once I get it ready to put on my paper and roll it out, I'll get back with you. Okay, I'm ready to roll out my pie crust. And you notice I got a little dab of flour on the side, and that's because if my crust starts sticking to my rolling pin, I can put me a little bit of flour on there and it won't stick. This is supposed to be rolled out in a circle, but I'm telling you, I don't think I've got a very good circle going on here, but it'll work. I was quilting, and my fingers are getting so sore that I'm giving them a break, so I'm going to be cooking today. And then I'll quilt some more late tonight while I'm watching TV. Give my fingers a break. I've almost got our awareness quilt quilted. I'm getting really anxious to get it done. It has been a really big project. So, my pie crust is rolled out, and so I'm going to put it in my pie pan, and then we're going to put it in the oven, and I'm going to bake it really hot. I'm going to bake it at 475 until it gets brown. I'll do a little small egg wash, and the reason I do that is so that it will stay crisp, but then it won't get soggy. So once my pie crust is in the pan and cooked, I'll get back with you. Okay, now I'm getting ready to make my lemon pie. And what I've got 1 1/4 cup of sugar, a 1/3 cup of cornstarch, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I mix it in this, just put it all in this bowl because it's all going to mix together anyway. So I'm going to pour it in my pot, and then I'm going to gradually add 1 1/2 cups of cold water. And I'm going to cook this on medium heat till it comes to a boil. I'm going to stir it up really good to make sure it don't have any lumps or any of that stuff in it. So, I'm going to cook it over medium heat. And once it comes to a boil, I'm going to let it boil for 1 minute, and then I'm going to take it off the heat. So while this is mixing up and getting ready to boil, I'll just stand here and stir. You got to stir it constantly, because anytime you're dealing with sugar, you got a real tendency of it wanting to stick, so you got to stir it the whole time. This is a new stove. I burnt my other one up, and it gets hotter than my other, so I'm trying to get used to using this one and using the heat. I don't know how many things on this thing since I got it, but my other one burned up, so we had to buy another one. This makes the 6th stove. Almost 44 years we've been married that I have burned up. So, I don't know. I'm just not good on maintaining stoves, and they're very pricey, so maybe this one will last me all the way through. But I do cook a lot, so it's not like they're not being used. They're being used a lot, like every day, 3 times a day, and more. So while this is getting ready to come to a boil, I will get back with you. Okay, my mixture's come to a boil, and it's boiling, so I've got the timer on. I'm going to let this boil for 1 minute, and then I'm going to take it off the heat and let it cool for a few minutes. And then I'm going to mix 1/4 cup of this hot liquid in with my egg yolks. Now, I just want to do a little bit at a time to get my egg yolks warm, because if you pour your egg yolks in this hot mixture, then you're going to have scrambled lemon pie instead of creamy lemon pie. So that's why you want to just put a little bit of this hot mixture in your egg yolks and let it set for a few minutes before you add it all together, so you won't end up with scrambled. It's almost boiled for 1 minute, so I am going to take it off the heat. And then I'm going to mix a little bit in with my egg yolks. And once I put it back on the heat, I'll put it on low and let it come to a boil again for 1 minute. So I'll get back with you. Okay, I put about 1/4 spoonful of the hot liquid into my egg yolks. See how creamy it is? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour this into my hot mixture now. And I hope that it stays creamy and doesn't start to scramble. It shouldn't, though. We'll see. I've taken it off the heat, so I'm doing just a little bit at a time. So we won't have scrambled pie. We'll have creamy pie. Okay, see how creamy it is? Now I'm going to put this back on the eye on low heat. And when it comes to a boil, I'm going to let it boil for 1 minute. And then I'm going to take it off the heat. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of lemon peel, and my lemon juice. And I'm going to have a 1/2 cup of fresh lemon juice. This is fresh lemons that and it took about a little bit over 2.5 lemons to do 1/2 cup of lemon juice. But that's what I'm going to put in it. And we'll let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil and gets mixed real good, I'm going to take it off the heat and I'm going to let it set for like 20 minutes or so before I put it into my pie shell. That way it'll start cooling down and it'll still get thicker and it won't be so hot when I put it in my pie shell. So I'm going to do that. And it's fixing to come to a boil again. So once it comes to a boil, this is going to boil for 1 minute. And then I'm going to remove it from heat again and add my other ingredients to it. Making a lemon pie is, they're really good, but you got to do it in steps. And I guess that's why I don't make them so much, because I'm not good at doing step stuff. I'm used to just grabbing it and going with it. But lemon pie is very key. Just anytime you're using hot with eggs, you got to be really careful, or you'll end up with scramble. So you got to do a lemon pie in steps. My mama used to make these all the time. On Sundays, I'd say she would make 20 or more pies. She would make chocolate pie, butterscotch pie, lemon pies, apple pies, just cherry pies, every kind of fruit that there was. I think that's what she would do, and that's what we would have on Sundays, and especially homecoming time. Well, she would cook all day on Saturday, making pies for homecoming and cakes. She was such a good cook, and she taught me. Although she was bed-faced, she would tell me what to do, and then if I run into a problem, I'd go to her bedroom and ask her and show her what I was doing, and she'd walk me through it. And that's how I learned, which I had to throw a lot of stuff away learning, but That's what cooking's all about. You just keep on and on and on. And then eventually you get it right. So it's coming to a boil, and I'm going to let it boil for 1 minute, and then I'm going to take it off the heat. Okay, it has boiled for 1 minute, and I am going to take it off the heat, and I'm putting 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to mix that up while it's really getting hot. A tablespoon of lemon zest. And then a half a cup of pure lemon juice. This is from the lemons that you zest yourself. And I'm going to mix this up really good. And that's all you got to do. I'm going to let this set for now like 20-25 minutes. And then I'm going to pour it in my pie shell and let it cool good. Once it cools most of the day, then I will make my meringue to put on it. And that's all you have to do to make a lemon pie.
Hey, Cindy here, and Dixie finally made my lemon pie. And what's even more special, she brought it to me. So now I get to taste it for you. It's delicious. I love lemon pie. It's one of my favorites.
I like it. I don't normally like lemon pie, but I like it.
Well, we look awful pretty today.
Oh, I know.
That's how we are, people. Ain't that true?
Thanks for watching us. Y'all come back and see us.